Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Crew Talk, where we love to talk about pro wrestling with a little bit of drinking on the side, or maybe a lot in this case. We got the crew here today, Just JB right here, Sharif, Carlton, and our special guest of the afternoon, Jay, the gentleman. Jay, how are you feeling today, man?
I'm trying to be cool, but I'm so excited. Like, you have no idea. Thank you so much for even inviting me to come on the show. I'm very, very excited. Big fans of you guys.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna get right to it. We have a lot to talk about, and yeah, like how are you doing on this Sunday? How you doing on?
I'm good. Like we were talking about the weekend. I had a very busy weekend. I tried to pretend like I'm 22 again, but it's I'm good. Like again, this was one of the things I was very excited for. So I made sure I got some rest last night. Had some talking points, but I cannot wait to get into it. Again, I'm very excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Awesome. Well, the drink we're gonna have today, as we all began to start talking about wrestling, we got Teremana. Shout out to the great one, the man that we hope is gonna face Roman Reigns at Wrestlemania. One of the biggest stars of all time, a man of many nicknames, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. We're going to be sipping on Teremana today, and yeah, let's get to it. So, what made you become like a wrestling fan?
So growing up in Texas, I'm actually half Mexican as well. My grandpa used to love wrestling, and he would watch like the old, like the Von Erich, like the original Von Erichs.
Oh wow,
Von yeah,
yeah,
like that whole
guys
era.
over there, man.
Yeah, so like that whole territory in Texas was massive with that family. But we also watched Lucha Libre on the weekends. So AAA was huge. So seeing Ray when he first started, seeing the Guerreros, what's the bull's name? The one with the horn. I don't know, I forget his name, but he had a really big feud with Ray back in the day. So we used to watch it every weekend, and Monday Night Raw, when that became a thing, it was like my grandpa, my grandma, my uncle, and then my nephew was born, and we started watching. So it was like almost like a family thing. So I've always been watching it since I can remember, since at least 5 years old. Maybe even before that.
Wow, that's older than me, man. That's awesome.
I've been watching for a long time.
That's crazy. What's your favorite what's like your favorite like period in like wrestling that you can remember?
So so I would say the Attitude Era was probably the most important era.
Oh, yep. Okay.
But if you're talking about wrestling, like work, I think Ruthless Aggression.
We've been saying this for the longest.
Yo,
yeah,
you gotta look at
the big Ruthless Aggression.
If you look at the rivalries and the fact that once WCW was in, they had a footing. All those matches that they had, it's hard to top the work rate in that era, the Ruthless Aggression era. Like, and Kurt Angle, just like him, like if you just go down the roster list, all of them are like 8. They could have put on a 5-star match at any given point.
Yep.
Now again, I'll talk about the Attitude Era. It was important because it was a very, very important just in the shift of pro wrestling, and you were able to bring out The Rock and all these other people. Triple H started to get his footing. Shawn Michaels started to kind of come back. Stone Cold, obviously, but like Stone Cold, Mankind. Stone Cold wasn't really in his like prime, like as far as athletically. He always had the really major injuries.
Yeah, he had to go to that brawling style.
Correct.
It wasn't like
exactly, and like The Rock was already on his way out. So it seemed like it lasted a long time, but it really didn't.
I know, it's crazy.
It really didn't.
Like the apex of it was really like 2 to 2.5
years.
It's crazy. A lot happened.
Yeah.
But like
a lot of memorable moments, a lot of like high key spots and whatnot. But when it comes to like wrestling, my favorite was the Ruthless Aggression.
I agree. Plus, you just look at the cruiserweights from that time period.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
you go Rey Mysterio, Chavo, Super Crazy. Juventud, I even think.
Yeah, Juventud.
Even there, and that's not even naming like the top wrestlers like Angle and Edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shawn Michaels even came back.
Yo, his second run was his best. Like, exactly. And that was the Ruthless Aggression era. I don't know, man. We could go on forever about the Ruthless Aggression.
Let's go. I know we talk about this a lot amongst us.
So what's the counterpoint? What's y'all's favorite? Like
no, I like the Attitude Era a lot, but I think it's a big argument with the Ruthless Aggression era. I think there's a lot. Like, you had the SmackDown 6. Like, I mean, you're right. It was like wrestling-wise, you had the roster arguably was the best it's ever been in pro wrestling history. You had at one point Angle, Hogan, Nash, Hall, Austin, Rock, Rey Mysterio, all the Hardy Boys, Dudley's, Lance Storm, like Dean Malenko, like Eddie Guerrero. Like you had like every single like.
And then you had the new like
Brock Lesnar.
Then you had the new like Brock, and then Batista, and then
the new
Randy Orton.
I didn't even mention Cena or Randy
Ric
Orton.
Flair's reemergence. Like it was an insane, and any given week, like SmackDown was way better than Raw. Like
I agree 100%.
Like it was like that roster in Raw, and just like the content of the show, it was a little bit more edgier. It was a little bit more like in the less time. I don't know. It just made. I just really enjoyed watching SmackDown because it was just like star-studded.
SmackDown, man, you're sounding so much like we know it's a compliment. Like we talk like Reef. Like when we talk about wrestling, like this, like SmackDown was the better show.
It was for a while. It was
like for a long time.
And I think it had to be because they had to carry the brand, right? Like in a sense in different directions. Because Raw was the flagship. It's always gonna be a flagship. It is what it is. You're gonna have the top person in there, whatever.
Yeah.
So you're like, how do we compete? It was like, and I like the competing factor within the wrestlers in the locker rooms. Like, yo. We just saw Raw. We got to come with the heat with SmackDown. So they kind of had the upper hand in the week because you saw what happened. They're like, nah, we get up and up a little bit. So I like having that inner kind of competitiveness within the brand and the roster. Hence why I really love the NXT. And we get into that later, but just kind of comparing how iron sharpens iron. Like you saw when AEW is doing like last year. Last year they had a crazy run.
Yeah, they did a crazy run.
And now like it's flipped. So we can get into it. But I love that. Yeah, that's why I really love the Garrison era because there's so much competition.
Yeah,
anybody.
It was staffed.
There was a lot of people on top. Like a lot of different.
It was
wrestlers.
staffed, man. Like I know, like for example, like a little tidbit. I think I was watching one of the documentaries and Paul Heyman mentioned that WCW. He said WCW wasn't the only company. Nitro wasn't the only show to beat Raw. SmackDown did.
SmackDown,
From like 2000, like literally in the ratings, like it beat it. I think they showed. I forgot what the graph was, but I want to say it was probably between like. I'm gonna make an educated guess. It was between probably like late whenever Paul Heyman started taking over, to when that was done.
It was like 2002 to 2000, whatever,
3, something like that. It had a run of like just beating them.
And I think it had to do with just like the diverse roster. Like crazy. You had Rey Mysterio who's 5'3" or whatever, and then you had like Undertaker.
Yeah,
and they're having 5-star matches.
Yeah,
like,
it's just crazy.
And you had obviously Eddie and
Angle, man. Like,
Angle,
Edge. We mentioned Edge. Like it's crazy. Yeah, now we're talking about it. Man.
I'm trying to tell you, there's so many people, and I know this is a very taboo like subject, but like if we take away the outside incident, like the outside.
Oh, Chris Benoit. Oh, he's
of course.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Crossface Cordial was a problem.
He was top tier. He's one of the top. He's like one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time. Not even a debate,
without question.
When it comes to just like you said, technically, like Bret Hart is the best. Chris Benoit was close, man.
Yeah,
like technically,
it's
like if you just look at suplexes, like technical.
It's so funny. See, man, we're a couple minutes in. We're going to start talking about Mount Rushmore here, but but no, it's interesting because we were having this conversation and like So I actually we have this big thread that the crew's in and everything like that, and we just like debate a lot about stuff. And I like what Seth Rollins does in terms of he talked about when he talks about Mount Rushmore, he splits it between the stars and the performers.
Right.
So these are the people that made the money.
Right.
These are the people that are the megastar, the draws. But here are the work rate report cards. So we were talking about we all have our pretty much our. We have our thing about the stars, whatever. I won't talk about that. But the performers, it was very difficult.
It's different.
So for me, I said I got HBK, I got Kurt, I got HBK, I got
from San Antonio. He's from San Antonio.
Yep. Oh my, of course I'm drawing a blank right now. HBK, Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, man. Eddie was special.
Yeah. Eddie Guerrero. I had.
Did you have Kurt?
This is what I'm going to talk about. So. That's it. I had HBK, Kurt Angle,
Eddie.
And I think I had Eddie or something like that. It was definitely Kurt Angle and HBK, but the fourth spot was very difficult.
Okay.
Very, very difficult for me. So I was like, I can put Chris Benoit. We could easily put Chris Benoit there. You can put, you can put Bryan Danielson there.
Edge.
You could put it's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah,
It's really tough. I was like, this. You put this.
I think Edge often gets overlooked.
He does.
But
He's good.
I think
great.
he's just as good as them.
You could put. I mean, when I'm talking about like my skills, you could put Malenko was a great great wrestler. I'm just saying, so many.
Man of 1,000 holds.
Yeah. Jericho. You know, like
maybe
it was Jericho. I forget, but it was really tough. It was really like I was like, oh man, I have like 3 different Mount Rushmores and tiers. Yeah. Like I was like, it was tough, man. Like,
and I think that's how you got to do it. I think with any, I feel like with any like if you're doing any Mount Rushmore, you guys.
So
what are we talking about? Are we talking about work? Are we talking about performance? Are we talking about life skills? Are we talking about entrances? Like theme music?
Exactly.
I love a good theme music, man. Like a good theme song. Like I love
pumped up, gets the chills, gets the goosebumps, the pops.
And I feel like that. And you talked about Edge, and I feel like Edge within the last, like even the Judgment Day stuff. And like when he first came out with the wings. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
All right, I gotta tell you this, Jay. It's so funny, man. You're like, it feels like another crew member here.
No, it does.
It's crazy. It's crazy. When that song came on, so Ultra Bridge did the new theme song.
I already know what JB's talking about.
We were all laughing because he has a distinct voice.
Yeah.
And he's like, won't you see the other side?
Yeah.
And we were all like making fun of that, like in a good way. Like, like
it's very goth. Like a goth opera, kind of thing, for sure.
No, but you're right, man.
But just like the tone, like and I think with Edge and like he's in that same mentality of like Triple H where he sees and like Bret Hart where it's like it's a story with everything, not just in ring, how you come out, the song, how you look, like willing to change, like cut his hair, like commitment.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people within the industry like that are committed to like every minute thing within and I love that. I love that. When they take the time to put into their gear, the intro, how they want to come out. I mean, we didn't even talk about Mount Rushmore. We didn't even talk about like women's wrestling either. Like
that's true.
Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like I would keep it a beat. Like Bianca right now, she's my top 5 wrestlers, not even just men or women, like wrestlers.
Love Bianca Belair.
Like she's I remember seeing her in NXT.
She's incredible.
I texted my boy, like shout out to my boy Alan. He's been holding
shout
me down.
Shout out to Alan.
What's like good? I was like, yo, who's this woman doing?
She's incredible.
He said like she's gonna be the next one, man. She's the next one.
It's interesting you said that on our TikTok account. I put like maybe like I want to say like two years ago. I was just like, if the proper booking is in place and they have the proper opportunity, I was like Bianca Belair and her husband Montez. There's something there. You can see it. Bianca we were actually at Mania this past in Dallas.
Nice,
it was awesome. Yeah. And when Bianca won, like the place went nuts. When she lost to Becky, and we love Becky Lynch and everything like that. But when she lost to her in like 30 seconds, I was like, what?
That was so corny.
What?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty disrespectful.
That was so disrespectful.
Yeah,
it was a corny. Like I get it. Like it could have been at least like a nice little match where she lost. I didn't even mind her losing with the way she lost. I was like, this is corny.
Yeah.
I was like, we're not doing this shit again. Sorry, can we curse?
Yeah.
I was like, we're not doing this shit again. And I say that because like there was a couple things that happened in the Ruthless Aggression era that made me not want to be a fan, like the whole Booker T Triple H.
Oh man,
I think we got to talk about that.
We got to talk about.
I would love to because that's when I really stopped. I stopped watching wrestling for a long time.
Nah, man, that was.
I was like, how do you like? Wasn't it WrestleMania or something?
WrestleMania 19.
Yeah, not again.
Which is one of my.
You gotta give him that. You gotta give him that moment.
That I couldn't. I still to this day. We still to this day.
Like how long did it take for him to pin? Like a minute.
I was like,
it felt like an hour.
Yeah,
I was like,
what are they gonna do? Like, what is happening? No,
yeah, I'm like, yo, like you can't. I'm like, wait a second. Not only you're not. I'm like when I was watching it, I was like, oh, okay. He's probably gonna lose the match, but like he's gonna kick out of this. He's taking forever.
Right.
Like I mean, this man's lying on the ground for like a minute, easy,
right.
And Triple H just like crawls over.
Right.
It's like 1, 2, 3. I'm like, what?
Right. That's
disrespectful.
For a long time, I didn't like Triple H because I feel like he had a lot of influence in the locker room, like kind of like how Hulk Hogan had.
It's a thing.
And I was just like, nah, this is corny. Like, because Booker T was working his ass off coming from WCW. He had the mishap with Stone Cold. So obviously there was some, some heat in the locker room for taking out your top guy.
Yeah.
But it was on accident. Like, clearly it was on accident. He wasn't trying to, like, take him out.
And it's wrestling. Accidents happen.
Right, right. Yeah, and so it's like, but when you're putting in programs, even, I mean, you're talking about Booker T, the feud with Stone Cold, the infamous grocery store, like,
that was awesome.
Come on, like, and then put in the work, and like, and you don't have that support from the from the locker room as far as like trying to get it, and he worked his ass off, reinvented himself 5 times, like he had moves, he could actually work, he was athletic. And you get it to the point, and then the whole program was basically demeaning him, had some very racial undertones, and then
people
you don't get the
you
dub.
Are supposed to win.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like,
and
what?
And like just like
it was almost like racism prevails in this.
Right.
Like come on.
Exactly.
That's what you're going to teach people.
You couldn't give him that dub at WrestleMania, like to have his moment over like this guy who's been shitting on him literally. Like
I know
that. I was like, I'm done. I stopped watching.
Booker T, I just can't believe like you see, like Reef, you just said, racism prevails. I can just imagine, like, Vince McMahon being like, oh, this is such good shit.
Good shit.
This is such a good idea.
Pal. Good shit, pal.
Yeah, like, and someone's probably like, sir, it's probably, is this?
Is it?
No,
that was going to be great. Like, what? Yeah, that was.
No, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. So we were talking about the correlation, like, not to, like, basically not fucking up Bianca Belair's booking. Because there's something there, and clearly, and she's got so much better on the mic.
Dude, she's incredible.
Working with Becky helped, because I think Becky on the mic is one of the best in the game.
Oh yeah.
As far as mic skills and whatnot,
she's incredible.
Yeah, like her and Seth Rollins at another level of just everything. His whole gimmick right now is just great. Like the wrestling Joker, like it's just fun.
Comes out dancing.
Yeah, like
he's like, oh,
but he'll beat your ass. Like, and I love that. And my villains, I want to like low key, like, damn, that was dope. You know what I mean? Like, and he does that. So like, yeah, I mean, just like right now, with wrestling in general, man, like it's just a fun time. Across the board, I mean, AEW, they're doing a lot of really great shit with CM and Danielson and everybody over there. They're killing it.
The Acclaim.
Yeah, and I think that competition it helps create better matches, and that's all I want. I just want to see some better matches.
So with that said, and you mentioned this before, as we were talking leading up to this day, like Triple H taking over.
Yeah.
On creative control. When this was announced, we were like,
finally.
Oh shit, finally.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but like game changer.
Yeah.
Like
it is.
It's crazy. Like this is I'm just saying, Vince, whatever reason, we know it's probably because of outside factors that Vince, is gone.
Definitely.
And I'm still, maybe it's PTSD as a wrestling fan, but I'm still not quite convinced Vince is fully gone.
I think he is.
We have crew members who say the same thing.
Yeah.
I think he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, you think
he's a sign of an antiquated time. Like even if he would have come, like he would be. There's nothing he could do because the train's already moving in a direction that he has no idea of what's happening in real world. Like,
and right when Triple H took over, immediately things just like switched. Look different. So what are your thoughts on Triple H? Triple H taking over, and you said you wanted to say some things, and you have some takes as well.
Yeah, no. So like Triple H, so Triple H taking over is something that I talk about. Shout out to my boy Alan. Like when I say we, it's me and Alan.
Cool.
So we've been talking about.
Come on the show sometime.
For sure.
Next time you and Alan come up, and we'll just shoot the shit.
He would love that. We just talk about like how because he's the one that's really caught me up because I had stopped watching for a long time, and then I started watching again randomly. And I'm like, all right, you got to catch me up to things. And he kind of like broke down every time I had a question. And when it came to NXT, I was watching a lot of NXT more than the programming, like Raw or SmackDown. I'm like, dude, these young people are killing it. Like, who are these people? And like, dude, you got to watch this person, this woman, she's going to do that. And so what he did with NXT, making a viable brand within the WWE system and a farm club of these talented people, it was only a matter of time where you saw Vince just kind of like fucking it up because he's so, this worked back in 1973. And it's like, yeah, well, let's try to like change with the times and like change it up because not everybody was around during 1973. Right. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? And even his people that was around him, they were like older. And I'm not trying to like be like an ageist or anything, but when it comes to stuff like this, you got to get with the times. And he was so
you have to adapt. You have to evolve. You
got to adapt, man. So yeah, so like and I always compare, or I always kind of like relate Vince McMahon, Jerry Jones, and the Queen of England.
Oh wow!
No,
because old as fuck, just let go of your reign. You had a good run.
Right, you had a great run.
Let go of your reign. Why are you still wearing the crown?
You're a pioneer. You know.
What are you gonna bring that's new to the table? Nothing. Jerry Jones, like I'm from Texas, so I am a Dallas fan. Sorry.
Oh man,
I know.
Oh, you're from Texas, so I get it. But man,
I grew up in an era where it was the time to be a Cowboys fan.
Well, I guess this interview's over.
Is it over?
Get out, man.
I gotta go. But it's legit. I'm from Texas. That's what it was.
At least you're from Texas.
He is from Texas.
You're from Texas. I get it.
Look, my dad accepts me, so y'all should accept me as well. He's a diehard Eagles fan.
Well, Sergio, if you're listening, next time you're like in the studio, you have a Cowboys fan.
Oh man! Oh my god!
He's gonna love you. I mean, you're a Cowboys fan.
Oh man!
Fair enough. So I'm just and so like comparing like Jerry Jones is like you have your sons who've been in the business. They're younger. They may put you on, and your daughters that may bring some new ideas. Like man, why not give them the reins? Like what do you need to prove? Right? It's like we get it. You're like I get it, but let it go. And I feel like that was the same with Vince. It's like we get it. Let it go. Like, just enjoy retirement. You know, you had a nice little run. But like, now it's like a disgraceful fall from... Unless, like, if this all comes into the light, like, how do we view it? And it's not like we didn't know there was shit going on with him before. Like, he was doing some wild shit with Trish Stratus, with Stacy Keibler, all them female. He was treating them like shit. Let's keep it a bean.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to be like, oh, he brought so much. I'm like, yeah, but he was also kind of scummy.
Oh, like, of course. He made sure to get with all of them.
Yeah, he was on some scummy shit. And if you didn't go with the program, he treated you like shit. Like there was no reason to treat Mickie James the way they treated Mickie James. None. Yeah, and she's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy. She could have had a great program with a lot of different people, like to elevate it even more before it did.
You know. It's crazy because going back to the ruthless aggression stuff for a moment, Mickie James versus Trish Stratus when that match happened, I was in college talking with people like the night after, and we were like, that might be a top 2 match of the night.
Right.
Mickie James versus Trish Stratus. Like that was one that feud.
Yeah.
And that like the crowd was going crazy.
Yeah.
Like that was.
It was good wrestling.
That was a great match. It was just a great match.
And was that Mania 22?
Yeah, Mania 22. Mickie James versus Trish Stratus.
And my thing was like they were so like I don't know how to explain, but like oh, we just want to see bra and panty matches and blah, blah. I was like, no, we actually want to see good wrestling. Like, I mean, that was cool, but like, I want to see them like wrestle, like
they have more
put on a match, like a full match. Like
and Trish Stratus that's a trailblazing period.
Yeah,
like it really, if you look at the evolution of
like Vita was doing, she was wrestling with dudes doing moves that no other woman was doing.
Yeah, she was killing it. And we always mention like China. She was a trailblazer. It is what it is. I know that
she was an IC champ.
Yeah, like China. She like really set the she's. I don't want to say. I don't think she's not forgotten by fans, but I think there's been I'm happy that there has been more light on her by WWE. I think there should be even more. Like she should be in the Hall of Fame. Not just DX. She needs to be in the Hall of Fame solo.
Is she not solo?
No.
Oh, wow.
DX. Because
Okay.
Like, I know there's some rumors with, like, how, a certain wife of Triple H felt about her and everything.
Right.
Triple H don't get mad at us, just rumors.
Right.
You can clarify yourself. But, like, but China was truly, like, a game changer.
She was. I remember the first time I saw her, I was like, what is happening? Like, like who's this?
Comes in,
enforcer, bodybuilder. I was like, this is crazy.
I was like, did she just kill Marlena?
Right. Like, I was like, there's no way she's gonna wrestle these women. There's no way.
Slamming the cage door on Mankind at SummerSlam or something.
Like doing body slams like on grown ass men. I was like, this is wild. I remember just the ninth. Was it Ninth
Wonder of the World?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
No, she definitely trailblazer. And So like going back with the whole changing of the guard, I think it was just time, and especially time because AEW was nipping at the heels. It really was. Like they were with all the returns, like
talent wise,
like their roster is great. Like I think the women's division still needs help with AEW.
This is what we always talk about.
I agree.
It's still lacking.
Yeah, it's lacking. Yeah,
it's lacking. But there's a few. Like I really love Britt Baker as a wrestler and on the mic, she's great. And then like other than that, there's really not a lot of people that have like the total package like that. I love Thunder Rosa, but her mic skills are okay. But like Britt Baker, I would love to see Britt Baker against like Becky Lynch or something like that. Would be like But like it just needed to happen. I think it was the right time with Triple H's health. Like he's not in the ring anymore, so he can focus. He got Shawn Michaels still at NXT. He had his wife running everything. I think it's just the perfect time. And now you're going to these continuing programs. And now you're gonna elevate, bring other people. Like he's already brought back people.
Karrion Kross, man.
Yeah,
like within a week and a half.
Yeah, like
immediately.
Hit Row,
Hit Row.
Like you gotta bring back what the fans like. Like ain't that the business?
And he brought when Karrion Kross was on the main roster before, and Vince took over with it. I was like, why did you not have Scarlett with Karrion? That's like taking. What I say? That's like taking like Paul Heyman away from Brock Lesnar. Yeah, Brock Lesnar's just gonna stand out there like mean mugging and not.
It's a package.
It's a package. Yeah. So you have to like. When I saw it, I was like, yo, you just completely neutered this guy. It's done.
And they gave him some weird outfit from like the 1980s. Yeah. It's like, what is happening?
Like, and I gave him a mask. I was like, what are you doing?
No.
Just like,
no.
Yeah. And so.
And they wonder why it didn't work. I'm like, yeah, you had yes men saying, yeah, that'll work. They knew that. They knew that damn well that wasn't going to work.
Remember they messed up Keith Lee? I think they called him like
Bearcat. Now apparently that was like his idea from what I read. But I don't know. Apparently, because it was based off of a trailblazing black wrestler and like from like the 60s.
That's the story.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. But he was fine the way he was before. That's how he got over it.
It's because
Vince made him change it.
It's because Vince wanted to own his name. That's what it came down. Vince wants to own everything.
Right.
Sounds very familiar to some other people, but he wanted to own his name. Keith Lee was like, I'm not giving you my name. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Did you hear the rumor that he that now that Triple H is in control, like there's been sources apparently saying that like now people are like, oh, I would just like I would have stayed or I would have gone. I want to go
Absolutely.
back. But I'm like, yo,
because you gotta think Triple H like not only brought him into NXT but like build them to get them over in a sense, and it was like, look, you got caught up to the big times. Like you gotta listen to him. It is what it is, but it's a bigger paycheck, and you do it as a wrestler. You do it.
Now this man is now he's the guy, and I think
you don't think he got his babies? Like he got babies all over the place. Like Keith Lee still, like all these other people. Johnny Gargano's gonna probably come back.
He's definitely coming back.
Adam Cole after his contract.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the leak. I mean, this isn't in any way like we're not leaking anything here, but we're just giving our opinions here. I think that Adam Cole's the one that would like if a source leaked that they would go back. I think it's Adam Cole because I think Adam Cole loved working with.
Well, I think he said he left on like good terms and everything.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But like the fact that they wanted him to be a manager, I'm like, are y'all crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You talk about a worker?
That's Vince.
And like that's another guy. I just love his entrance. I love his like.
Go back.
Yeah, like that. The first time I saw that, I was like, holy shit, that is cool. Like that is dope. And he just like I didn't understand the moves that he was making. Like that whole giant people are what draws is not what draws anymore.
No,
it's past that.
Yeah, that's
different time, man.
Yeah, it's a different time.
If you can't wrestle, they're gonna let you know you suck.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see that shit. I want to see some fucking moves. Yeah. Now don't go crazy with a spot fest. But make a nice little. I want to see a match with a storyline with some energy, excitement. Like I want to see that. Like there's got to be a balance with anything, and I think with sometimes AEW just gets too spot fest happy. I'm just like, well, what's the match about? Like what is going on?
Right.
What's the story, other than just like what they said on the mic? It's like nah. Like I want to see a story within the ring, and when CM Punk came back, you saw a lot of that. Like you referenced the 1-2-3 Kid against Bret Hart. He had like that similar match when he came back with what's his name, and like just having that story, Bryan Danielson. Having that kind of WWE way of wrestling, bringing it to AEW, that definitely helped the brand. because they were just spot fest heavy, and it's just like, all right, we get it. You can do flips, like. Let's
give me a little bit more substance.
Let's get back to substance, please.
Yeah. So who do you think, with Triple H being in charge, who do you think's now gonna get, like, who's gonna get pushed and who's gonna get de-pushed?
That's a great question.
Let's see.
So we know Karrion Kross he clearly got pushed.
He's definitely getting pushed.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if he was like messed around and was champion in 6 months, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I wouldn't be shocked.
For sure, Ciampa.
Yeah.
Because he's another one of Triple H's guy, and he just looks great. He looks like a great wrestler. He is a great wrestler. Mm-hmm. He has a whole he gets it. I'll start with the kind of deep push, if that's even a word. I think Austin Theory.
Okay.
I mean, he's at a.
I think he's got potential.
He has potential, but he's not there yet.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
And I think having him at a mid card is good for him to help him elevate himself and work with a lot of really good mid-carders within the brand. And obviously he got that push from Vince because Vince just loved him. Great, good shit, pal. Like, he just looks like what Vince
He does look like, I will say this in all
he looks great.
He looks like, he does look like a jackass. Like, he has like the heel, like, I'm a young, good looking dude, and I'm better than all of y'all.
I love it.
I like the douchebag,
the brash, the young brash,
total douchebag,
like total,
and he knows it.
Yeah, he's good. Don't get it wrong, he's good, and I can see that as being his thing in his career. I don't ever see him as a babyface ever, which is fine. Mm-hmm. I would love to see him like the Miz, just stay a heel, stay a heel.
Yeah.
But I think Ciampa for sure, and. I'm very interested to see what they do with Hit Row, though. To be honest, like, all right, you brought him back. Now what?
Yeah.
Like, what's gonna be the thing?
What are some things you think? What do you think they should do with Hit Row?
So they're at SmackDown, right? So I think they should be the next different, kind of same but different version of Street Profits in a sense.
Okay. Like an alternative.
Yeah, because I feel like with Street Profits, I think y'all talked about it. Like Montez might be being into a solo thing, and I don't mind it. I think actually
Dawkins look good too,
right?
And
I'm not mad at that either. I think Dawkins could go too, right?
Yeah.
So I think Dawkins got a little mad when people was not giving him a little.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that.
Yeah,
and Dawkins could go too. Like they're two phenomenal athletes for sure. And I think with Hit Row, I think I think with a faction, I think it's best when you're like a heel. So just have them be like the opposite of Street Profits. Like have them be kind of young, brash, like, yo, we run this shit because I love the swag. Like, bring that swag and be on some like a hybrid of Ric Flair, hybrid of Street Profits, and put that together and really, really push them into being like just over the top, brash. Like maybe even have them like do a program where they're like recording an album, like something like that. You know, like
I think you're right. Like as a heel, they would be completely different.
I think it'd be like a complete opposite of Street Profits because. If you're gonna be in a faction, because that's a faction, it works best as a heel.
Yeah.
Like you don't. Has there ever been a babyface faction where you were like, yeah, that's great? Like, never.
A babyface faction where DX started off as heels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All of them. Four Horsemen.
NWO heels.
Yeah.
Oh man. Evolution heels.
There's no
Dark
such
Foundation
thing.
Heels. Oh man,
even Nation of Domination, they were heels.
The Corporation heels.
Did I just bring something to light?
Yo, oh my gosh,
Ministry of Darkness.
Ministry of Darkness
heels.
It's all.
I didn't even think about that.
It all makes sense.
All the game changing ones.
Because the babyface, you need them to be
even
like
the Brood were heels when they first start. Wow.
Like you need the babyface to be like the underdog against this massive, team.
Yo, that's crazy. I never thought about that.
So if they're gonna be
that is pretty crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
Look, I talk about this shit all the time, man. Hit Row needs to be a heel and just be like coming in, swagged out, hitting people from behind, killing matches, whatever, and developing against someone within SmackDown. Like,
man, I was about to say the New Day, but they started off as heels, and they were acting like heels, but they just got popular.
Right, they got over
heels.
Right,
they just got over as and they just evolved into them being like faces.
Exactly,
but they started as heels.
Wow. Yeah, because like they were like, what is like nobody like yeah. I think
the stable wrestling matrix right
now.
We just got
Hit Row needs to be healed. They need to be healed the fuck out and just be running shit like wrecking shop down there with creative program. It don't even have to be the like who is it? The top is the Bloodline, right?
Yeah.
What other
another heel stable?
All right, so right. So what other tag team in SmackDown is like up there? I can't even think of the other tag teams in SmackDown. All the other ones are in Raw. You got Alpha Academy and Street Profits. Like who else?
Is New Day Raw or SmackDown? I'm trying to remember.
They're SmackDown.
Okay.
All right, so the Viking Raiders and New Day.
I was gonna say Viking
Raiders.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Have them disrupt something from them, and so that you could get a push from them, and they could be like the new version of a Ric Flair faction in all three of them, and just be on some brass shit. I think that would be cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be dope.
I think that I will say this because we were talking about like attitude or ruthless aggression. The tag team division in the ruthless aggression and the attitude era was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That
they just paired up everybody.
It was just insane.
And that was Vince. He hated tag team wrestling.
And
which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But like you had the Dudleys, you had the Hardys, you had Acolytes, you had Edge and Christian, I'm happy. Like we watched Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And Street Profits vs. Usos was like a class. It was
really good.
Yeah. That was one of the best matches I've seen in a long time.
It was really good.
Yeah,
that was a great match.
Yeah, they didn't quite live up to it from SummerSlam, but like it was still good. But like I remember I was like texting, I was like, "Yo, this is a classic." Yeah, it's like you don't just throw that out.
No, it was really good.
That was a good match.
I think I was talking. I was like, I think this might be the match of the night. Like it was really good. Like I was like,
match of the year candidate.
For sure. Maybe. And I'm like, how do you? Like the thing is, you gotta build. Like you gotta give these tag team. Like why can't it be a draw? Why does it have to be just the Road Warrior Pop? Like
right.
There's other really great tag. Like if you're looking at FTR, like them off, they work and they're all over the world killing it.
Right.
I was like, what's the big deal with these guys? And I saw them wrestle. I'm like, oh, got it. They get it.
Yeah.
Like they're wrestling fans. This is what they do. They love it. I get it. And it's like, why not build the next like Road Warriors? Why not?
Man,
right.
They brought in so much money.
They did.
You don't say even to this day. You don't say Stone Cold Pop.
It's the Road Warrior Pop.
It's the Road Warrior Pop.
Even it's funny. I'm not sure. Do you watch Austin's? Do you watch the Broken Skull sessions?
Oh, of course, yeah. Absolutely.
When he had Cody Rhodes, and it's funny. We were talking about this like when we saw Cody Rhodes come out. Like Reef was like. Because we saw in Dallas Stone Cold Monster Pop, but after night 2 and like things started settling down, like Reef and Carlton were like, yo, like we think Cody Rhodes might have gotten the biggest pop, and I was like, wait,
no,
what?
for sure.
And I was like, so he's and they're just like, yo, just listen to it again, And then I watched the Broken Skull sessions with Cody Rhodes, and Austin's like, I'm just gonna tell you, man, Road Warrior Pop.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, going off with the Cody Rhodes thing, like, I was watching, and I was like, mind you, people were rumoring, and I didn't know who was gonna be. I honestly had no idea. Like, I was like. I kind of like maybe
I was
missed
shocked.
a week.
I was like, dude, I can't see. I was like, this is gonna happen.
And y'all were there, right?
Yeah, it was there.
Shocked.
Was it deafening?
Yes. Yeah. When he came out, it was insane.
After this is over, I'll show you the video and everything.
That was crazy.
Yeah. When he comes up, it's like you hear the crowd. It's like it reminds me of when Hear me out.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's chill. It's pretty. Yeah, like I still watch it. It's crazy. Like when Triple H comes back in Madison Square Garden, the music hits, and then he comes out, when he comes out, the crowd goes to another level.
Yes.
That's what it was with Cody Rhodes. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it was
it's
similar.
Pretty close.
It was similar. you know that you hear that adrenaline, like it shows like the logo, but then when he rises up, you just crowd because it's like, oh, it's actually him, and then the crowd goes nuts.
Yeah.
And when we heard that, it was deafening.
Yeah.
It was deafening. It was definitely one of the biggest pops I ever heard.
Exactly.
So I remember I had to rewatch it because I was like, wait, what just happened? So I rewound it, and I'm looking at Seth in the ring, and he's so good. He's like,
amazing.
He's like, who is it? Come on! And he's throwing his jacket, and as soon as he throws the jacket, the pyro goes off, going up the thing, and still nothing. So he's just like looking around mad. And when they hear the thump, and then him saying,
he starts laughing.
Family, and he just starts laughing, and then he gets mad. I was like,
oh,
this is gonna be good.
It's so good, man.
This is gonna be so good. And Cody Rhodes is such a WWE guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Because again, it goes into the little things, the entrance, how you come up,
Yep.
the song, the logos, the
Yep.
graphics, the
Yep.
stuff that we see on TV, his
Yep.
gear, him giving, nobody, like Bret Hart used to give the glasses, him giving his belt to the kid. I'm like, this is top tier, baby face, how you come back to and people loved it. They were waiting for him to come. I was like, you guys should never have left, because you made a lot out of nothing. But we understood that you left, and we understood.
It's a great story.
It's a great story.
To
have him come back, I was like, this is great.
I couldn't, but when the rumor was that he was coming back, I was like, wait a second. You left WWE, made the All In pay-per-view, which by the way was a history-making pay-per-view. It was the biggest
game changer.
It was the biggest non-WWE, non-WCW
like
independent event ever.
Yeah.
And then co-founded AEW, their direct competition.
Yep.
I'm like, and you're going back to the company that had you at mid-card best, like.
He did what he had to do to bring value back.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because that, like, he should have left. He should never have left. They should have done him like.
But man, I would have loved to see the contract negotiation with Vince.
Yeah.
Like he comes in, there's Vince. I would have loved to. He had to tell him I'm getting a title reign, and I want to be treated creative control.
It's definitely
that's what it was.
Yeah. It was
because if you trust within the wrestlers to have that creative, it's gonna push itself. Him coming back, people are really gonna be fucking going nuts.
Yeah.
And then put him in a program.
I still can't believe it, to be honest with you.
Putting him in one of the best wrestlers in the world with Seth Rollins off the rip, genius.
Yeah.
Having a triple match with him, and then having the fact that he wrestled with a torn pec adds to the lure, to the legend of him coming back. Yeah. It's just like the perfect comeback.
Seth Rollins has entered. We say this about AJ Styles. Seth Rollins has entered the HBK AJ Styles realm of Bryan Danielson realm, where you can lose
Edge.
Multiple times, but you're not going to lose. You're not going to lose your overness because you're that good.
Right.
It's just like you just lost that night, but we know that you're great.
You're able to be a great dance partner.
Exactly.
For your opponent.
He's at that level now, and it's interesting. We were talking about Mount Rushmores for wrestlers and performers earlier.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought.
He's going to have. I actually, when I posted to the group, I said, I put a star next to Rollins, and I said he's going to have me in a couple really soon, having to make a difficult decision because he's rising quickly. Someone's going to have to get kicked out for the. I don't know. I was like, I just put a star. I'm like, yeah, this is pending because he's.
So what you said about Seth Rollins, I'm probably going to transition to another. What you said about Seth Rollins is how I feel about Sasha Banks.
Oh, really?
Sasha Banks doesn't need a belt.
Oh, okay.
She don't need to be a belt to get anybody else over.
Oh, okay.
To be relevant.
Yeah, I hear you.
And that's the difference between Becky Lynch and Charlotte.
Gotcha.
Charlotte needs a belt to be relevant. When's the last time you remember a storyline with Charlotte
that didn't have to do with the belt?
Correct.
And her adding to her legacy.
And I'm not taking away from her wrestling power. She's an amazing athlete.
Charlotte's the best. She's one of the best.
Sasha Banks is the best, I think, in my opinion, best female wrestler ever.
You really think so?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
I mean, she had a great match against.
All her matches.
Yeah, Bailey.
No, her match against Bailey.
Both matches against
Bailey. TakeOver?
Yeah.
Brooklyn. Match of the year.
Yeah.
That was match of the year. And then they had another one on NXT that was just as good. It was like an Iron Woman match or whatever it was.
No, they had game-changing, groundbreaking matches.
Any match with Charlotte, when it was just one-on-one with Charlotte Flair, her matches with Belair, and she got everybody over. She's a great heel.
She's a great
babyface. She's a better heel.
Yeah, she's a great
heel. And she doesn't need a belt to be relevant. That's what makes a superstar.
I feel that.
I think she's the best, and she could work her ass off. She's great on the mic. She was the best to come out of it. Out of the Four Horsemen, she was the best to come out. Yeah. Now Bailey's got her groove and shit, but she was the best. She has the best gear.
Mm-hmm. She has the best overall.
She looks great.
Yeah, Sasha, if you're listening, please come back.
She will. Come
back, Sasha.
And I remember vividly watching. I watched all the four horsewomen in NXT, and I'm like, they could all work. I get it, but Sasha, she's gonna be. I think she's gonna be the next Rock in the sense that she's gonna be in acting and
starring. She was already in The Mandalorian and she was good.
Correct. And you gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And the same happened with The Rock. He had a cameo in The Mummy or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And now
returns.
But she just has it. She just has it. And the way she can work a crowd, whether babyface or heel, especially heel. Like and like everything she says, like you can't deny it.
Right.
Like she's bad as shit. Like she's a boss. And you're like, yup.
I can't debate it.
When you saw Ric Flair, you believed it. He had the $3,000 suits, the gaiters on his feet, the Rolex on his arm. You believed it. The fly hair. You're not gonna be like, oh, that's a fraud.
$15,000 Rolex.
Yeah, like, and I have a problem holding down these gators, like, you know, and then
women all over me.
When Sasha says it, it's like, yeah, I believe that, and like her cousin is Snoop, like it just adds to
the aura.
It adds to the aura.
Yeah.
Like I think Sasha's the greatest wrestler ever.
That's
at this moment in time, for sure.
That's a statement. That's a statement. I respect it.
It's a statement. I got points.
I wish one of our crewmates was here with us because he would debate the hell out of me with this.
Becky Lynch?
No. He think we have one of our crew members, Serge.
Yeah.
He thinks Sasha isn't good at all. Thinks that like she botches too much. Thinks that doesn't like.
You talking about a botch fest? What?
But that
how many times did Becky Lynch injure her? Like what?
We can have you on another time.
I would love to.
And we can have a debate on
when has she ever botched? Like, all right, that's a crazy take. That's a crazy take.
Doesn't like her.
I also have a theme. I have a theory. I feel like wrestling fans don't like good-looking wrestlers.
Do tell. Keep going.
John Cena. Why do people hate John Cena?
I don't hate John Cena. I don't. But he's a good-looking dude.
They're jealous. They're jealous.
You think there's jealousy?
Roman Reigns' first couple years.
All right. Like, okay. You think there's jealousy with that?
Absolutely.
Interesting. That's an interesting thing. Okay. Maybe some subliminal, we can go really psychological here.
Even like why
The Rock's good looking.
And they didn't like him. Rocky died.
Okay.
Rocky died.
All right.
Curly hair.
All right.
He came in. All the Stone Cold. Everybody in the locker was like, "Oh, he's gonna be the next one." Mm-hmm. Why didn't anybody else see that? Because he got pushed. No, it's because he's handsome.
With the Hollywood blondes and the hair, yeah.
Wrestling fans don't like handsome or good looking like wrestlers. I could go down the line.
Keep going.
Austin Theory.
Keep going.
Austin Theory.
Interesting take. I like this.
Sasha Banks, Austin Theory. What else did I say? They didn't like Edge.
I thought Edge was I'm going just me, but overall,
they didn't like Edge
when he first started,
and then especially when he got with Vita, that whole thing with Matt, they didn't like him at that. I feel like it's because and for some reason, why didn't Vince McMahon like Christian? Because he said he didn't look like, it was weird. I don't know.
Vince did have his things with like looks, and Roman Reigns has like the look.
You can't deny it.
Yeah.
Wrestling fans don't like, because it's like, it's too, like, they just get, like, it's a mentality, like, they just hand it to him because he's good looking or she's
will say this, and I'm not going to single people out, but I will say this. There is like a wrestler that we talked about. I'm not going to put the name out there because we respect the wrestler and we think that they're one of the best work rate wrestlers around. But we were saying if this particular wrestler looked differently, that wrestler would be like probably pushed to the top, because that's how good they are in the ring. Right. So I will say that definitely comes across.
And I feel like as a regular person, you want to get behind someone who you can relate to, right? Mm-hmm. We can't relate to Roman Reigns. Like, we can't relate to, you know what I mean? Like, John Cena, The Rock. That's different level of species.
Even Chris Jericho back in the day.
Yeah, like, that's different level of species.
Long blonde hair, HBK.
I could, right, exactly. Mm-hmm. And I could accept it. But that's just a theory of mine. And again,
that's an I never, man.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Because my thing was, why don't they like him? Like, he could actually wrestle. Like, what is it? I was like, it has to be his looks. It has to be.
Very interesting. So
I have strong takes. I'm sorry, but
I love it. No, we want that. Bring it.
Sasha Banks is. The fact that she says Sasha Banks is trash. I can't get over that. That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
she makes so many people look good, and it's not because it's botched. Like, she's actually a good wrestler. Like,
no, Sasha Banks has had. If there was like a, just ride with me here. Like, if we were to have like a evolution of women's wrestling one-on-one class that we were to create, right? And we were to create a content strategy for. You would have, when you got to like the 2010s, you would have to talk about the four horsewomen.
Absolutely.
And you would have to talk about Bayley versus Sasha.
Absolutely.
It's like you have
that was the evolution.
or else it's malpractice.